I'm moving. What's poppin'? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's talk about Impact Wrestling for June the 8th, 2023. And we will go over the predictions for Against All Odds. So we will talk about that as well. So, the go-home show was pretty interesting. It was okay for the most part. It wasn't nothing too out of the ordinary that happened. So we kicked the show off with Chris Bay versus Jason Hotch from the Good Hands. So, before the match got started, Brian Myers, the most worthless guy in the industry, he got on the mic and said that Ace and Base time was up at Against All Odds, and John Skyler predicted that the Good Hands would win the belts as well. So, Chris Bay gets the win via the Art of Finesse for the 1, 2, 3. And then post-match, the Good Hands and Brian Myers, they immediately beat down Ace and Bay. Myers gave the roster cut to Ace Austin, and then the Good Hands, they did their finish to Chris Bay, and they held up the tag titles, and they gloated. So we know by default that they're going to lose, more than likely. They're not going to win the tag match, which they shouldn't. I like the Good Hands, but not with Brian Myers. They're better when they were with Bully. Moving on. So Gia Miller, she interviewed Heath. He's back. He's been gone for, I think, a couple months. So he said at Against All Odds, his plan was to win the 8-4-1 match, then go on and beat Steve Maclin for the title. He talked about facing Champagne Singh tonight. Okay, I'm fine with that, even though we know that Heath's not going to win. He's not. Heath really needs to be in that X division. They need to make the X division into like the IC title or the US title in WWE. That's kind of how I would use the X Division Championship. Really, like, that would be like my second biggest belt in the promotion. That's how I would have it. Next, we get a really good, solid Dirty Dango vignette. So, Dirty Dango talked about his change in demeanor. He said he played a clown because he was paid a lot of money. So, speaking about his WWE days, he said he invested the money, and now he doesn't need to play the clown. He talked about wrestlers calling him, and it was the last thing he wanted to do. Good stuff right there. He sarcastically talked about loving to talk with awkward 18 to 35-year-old fans for 4 hours at shows. Then they showed him talking to the fans and insulting them in the parking lot, which was good. He said if he was the most liked in the locker room, he would have already ordered a replica digital media title. He said a replica belt would be repellent to women. He said he would take the real title and put it on eBay and go to Hawaii with a woman. Really good shit right there. Great. I love it. I love this change in Dango. I love the fact that Larry Dango is a heel. I'm glad. Hopefully, I'm just hoping that Tyler Breeze shows up and, we can get the Fashion Police but as heels. I think that would be great. I'm loving heel Dirty Dango. Loving it. 1,000%. Moving on. Heath versus Champagne Singh. Heath gets the win via the wake-up call. Okay. It's fine. Again, Heath's not going to win anyway. He's not going to win. He's just there just to be there. And I like Heath. Like, Heath is a good guy. He's a good hand. No pun intended to the good hands. But Heath is a really good hand. He's a good guy to have. He should be higher on the card. He should be at least in the X Division title picture. Like, I'm being serious with you guys. He should be in the X Division title picture. I don't see him as world championship material. I don't, because he's not a guy that you can build the company around. But I could see him as the X Division champion. I really could. That would be a perfect role for Heath to play. I mean, you could give him a world title opportunity, but have him, come up short, obviously. Moving on. Oh, God. We had a promo by The Design. So, Alan Angels said that he never trusted Sami Callihan and he would pay in Ohio. Big Con said Sami would bleed like Rich Swann and Jake Crist. And Diener said they would take down Sami's family and they would take everything. Oh my God, I am so sick and tired of this shitty, useless stable. Break this faction up immediately, please. This sucks. This sucks ass. Next, Joe Hendry versus Sheldon Jean. So, Joe Hendry did his usual We Believe shtick. And then he retained his title via standing ovation, which I like. Post-match, Joe Hendry challenged Dirty Dango to come out because he had something to share. So Dango then came out. He walked to the stage. Dango told the fans to be quiet. He said he hated pro wrestling and pro wrestling fans. Dirty Dango said Hendry wouldn't trick him to come down to come down and fight. He said he would take his $300 shirt and go to the back. Joe Hendry said he didn't call him out to fight because he made a video. A video played on the screen making fun of Dirty Dango. A person wore a Dango mask in the video. The lyrics said that Dango went from beating Chris Jericho to doing Fashion Police skits and getting rejected on Total Divas. All good stuff. So, the fans cheered at Dirty Dango being called a Total Divas a Divas reject. So, after the video was over and done with, this lasted maybe like a good 20 seconds or whatever. Kenny King and Sheldon Jean, they attacked Joe Hendry as well as, they attacked Joe Hendry from behind, and then Dirty Dango, he joined in. Santino Marella, he came to the ring. Kenny King and Dango got out of Dodge. And then Sheldon Jean confronted Santino. Fans chanted Cobra, and then Jean argued with Joe Hendry, and then he turned around and he got hit with the Cobra by Santino. Okay. That's a fine little comedy spot here. Moving on. So Giselle Shaw is back with the crew, that being Jay Vidal and Savannah Evans. So Giselle said that Jordan Grace was out indefinitely due to the attack last week. Giselle Shaw told Trinity that the spotlight is hers, and she's taking it back. Giselle Shaw said she would put Deonna Purrazzo in her place too. Okay. It's not going to happen, but okay. Again, I'm glad that they wrote Jordynne Grace off of television. I don't know where she'll end up. I would assume probably WWE, more than likely. You could put her in NXT for a while. I don't see her going to AEW. I don't. I just don't see her going to AEW. Really, I don't. Number one, Mercedes is coming in once she recovers from her ankle injury. So they're probably going to push her tremendously in AEW. I don't see Jordynne Grace coming in and getting a massive push. Again, Taya's already there, and she's not doing anything. So, no. I think it'll be better for Jordynne Grace to go to WWE, give it a shot at the big times. I think she could do very well there. And they're already pushing the more Amazon type of female, such as Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, or Gonzalez, and, women like that. So you add Jordynne into that mix, that would be great. And she can still do the whole bodybuilding thing for sure. So, But I would put her in NXT. She could probably develop within about a year and a half, and then send her to the main roster. But that's probably where she'll end up, that being Jordynne Grace. Moving on. The Death Dolls. Courtney Rush and Jessika versus the Coven. Taylor Wilde and Kylan King for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. So, the Coven, they retained. So, there was a point in the match where Taylor Wilde tapped to Courtney Rush's sharpshooter, but the ref didn't see it, so he was distracted, she was distracted, and then that allowed both Taylor Wilde and Kylan King to hit the finish for the 1-2-3, and they retained. Makes sense. They're really pushing the Coven, so I don't, expect them to lose anytime soon. I'm still trying to figure out what happened to the Hex, because they were kind of doing the same gimmick with Father James Mitchell. I don't know if that was like a one-off or what, but, who knows. Moving on. So, Alex Shelley, he had a video package. So, the highlights were playing. He talked about facing Josh Alexander, but falling short of his goal of winning the world title. Alex Shelley talked about wrestlers he's cultivated, including the Young Bucks, Okada, Jay White, Jonathan Gresham, Trey Miguel, and a few others. He said that Maclin wasn't a better wrestler than him, and he isn't championship material, and he would prove it. Okay, that's fine, but again, we all know that Steve Maclin is going to win. Like, it's common sense. They're not giving Alex Shelley a chance. Like, they're not going to give him a shot at the world title. He's not going to sniff the world title. He doesn't need to. It's not going to happen. So, Gia Miller, she interviewed Steve Maclin. He said that Alex Shelley had never been champion, and he said all the wrestlers were coming after him, including Bully, who stood alongside him. So, he wants a piece of him. He also mentioned, Heath as well as Nick Aldis. So, Bully said that Maclin didn't have to worry about those other wrestlers, just like him. Just him, but not until Slammiversary. Again, I don't see Bully Ray winning at all. Moving on, next we got footage before the Impact. BTI. So Masha Slamovich, she attacked a couple of wrestlers. I forgot their names. She attacked them with a chain, and she talked in Russian. So she got a little bit of momentum for her dog collar match with Killer Kelly, which should bang. Like, that's some crazy stuff that Impact is doing. Like, you would never see them do that shit in WWE or AEW. Only in Impact. Like, Impact does some crazy shit for their females sometimes. They really do. Like, they really go outside the box. Like, you would never see that shit in WWE. Ever. 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 And you won't see it in AEW. I mean, just because you got that with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, that doesn't mean anything, right? Impact's been doing that shit for a while, you know. But a dog collar match? No. Next, Trey Miguel versus Bhajinder Gujar. Trey Miguel gets the win. He wins via the lightning spiral. So Trey Miguel got on the mic and said that he was a generational champion. He talked about his successful title defenses and who he's beaten so far. And he said that he would beat Chris Sabin at Against All Odds. Next. So Gia Miller, she interviewed Johnny Swinger. So she put him on his cart. She said he didn't have to give... Gia said Johnny Swinger didn't have one win on his quest to get 50 wins to qualify for a title shot. Johnny Swinger said that his dad told him to pass the heat to somebody. He said he realized that it's cricket referees that were costing him matches. So he sent Ziggy Dice to referee school. And he made a pass at Gia and she left. He wanted her to get checks and all that with him. I thought that was funny. I laughed my ass off. That was good stuff there, man. Excuse me. Really good stuff. So, I enjoy Johnny Swinger's stuff. I enjoy the comedy that he brings. Like, it's really pretty decent comedy. And believe it or not, I wouldn't mind seeing him as digital media champion, but we know that's not going to happen. Next, Gia Miller had a sit-down interview with Trinity and Deonna Purrazzo. Trinity said she came to Impact to prove herself against the best wrestlers. Deonna said it was noble, but many have tried and many have failed. Gia talked about Team Shaw attacking them last week and injuring Jordan Grace. Deonna said she has defeated them multiple times, so Shaw is playing a game she's already lost. Deonna said she would use the tag team match as a chance to scout Trinity, but Trinity said they should just focus on the match. They agreed to focus on the tag match and then go against each other at Slammiversary. So I'm fine with this, and they'll probably end up winning at Against All Odds. Main event, Moose and Rich Swann versus Nick Aldis and Jonathan Gresham. So Moose gets the win here via a powerbomb. And then post-match, Moose and Rich Swann, they argued afterwards. Moose, he decked Gresham, and then that incited a brawl between Rich Swann and Moose. So he ran in, and him and Nick Aldis, they threw out Moose, and then Heath and Aldis, they fought. Bully Ray came out. He attacked Rich Swann from behind. PCO ran in. He faced off against Bully. They traded some punches. PCO dropped Bully. Did a dive on the pile at ringside, and then PCO stood tall, and that's how we got off the air. So I'm fine with this, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, let's go on to the predictions. So, the pre-show, well, the countdown to Against All Odds. So, Nevaeh, the wife of Jake Chris, she's returning, so she'll take on Kylan King. I'm predicting that Kylan King will probably end up winning that. Like, why would she lose? Moving on. Then we got Dirty Dango versus Joe Hendry. That match is going to be moved to Against All Odds. The countdown to Against All Odds. So Dirty Dango more than likely needs to win this. It would make a lot of sense. I think Joe Hendry should be moved on to the X division. It's time. Or if not, put him in the world title scene. That'd be fine too. Either or would be fine with me. But get him away from that damn digital media shit. All right, on to the main card. So let's go with Killer Kelly versus Maso Slamovich dog collar match. That'll probably come in event. I don't see that being, the first match of the night or whatever. So I'm going to go with probably Killer Kelly getting the win. And having Masha and Killer Kelly continuing their feud. So, yeah. Next, keeping it violent. The Ohio Street Fight, which is OVE, which is Sami Callihan, Madman Fulton, who I predicted would return, and Jake Christ versus the Design. Angels, Diener, and Khan. Sami Callihan, OVE, they're going to win for sure. We might even see Dave Chris show up, the brother of Jake Chris show up. So that very well could happen, So that'll happen. Next, the Axstv Connection, or the ABC, versus the Good Hands. For the Impact World Tag Team Championships, Axstv are going to retain. Why would they lose? Moving on, Trey Miguel versus Chris Sabin for the X Division Championship. This is a toss-up, but I think that Trey Miguel is going to retain, and then they'll probably continue their little feud. Now let's go on to the 8-4-1 match featuring Nick Aldis, Rich Swann, Mike Bailey, Moose, and Jonathan Gresham versus Heath, PCO, and Bully Ray. So the rules are: it starts off as an 8-man tag, and then the winning team, they compete in a fatal 4-way, and then whoever wins that will be the number one contender. Nick Aldis is going to win. His team will win, and then he'll end up winning the match. I don't see anybody else winning this match at all. Moose is not even in. Moose is just in there just to be in there. Same thing with Heath. Same thing with Heath Slater. Jonathan Gresham has no chance of winning. Same thing with Rich Swann and Mike Bailey. So it would make the right decision and have it be Nick Aldis winning. It makes sense. Again, they're probably going to fast track him to face Steve Maclin. Steve Maclin being champion is okay, but to me, he just seems like a transitional champion, right? That's the way I look at it. And then the main event, Alex Shelley versus Steve Maclin. Steve Maclin. He's going to retain the Impact Championship. So, yeah. So, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.